Welcome back, everybody, to clip 9, the final clip in this series of 9 clips dealing with a flight of 192 km made in the Andes back in, I think it was August 2022, using Condor 2 software, which is software aimed for people who want to have a go at doing some gliding, cross-country, online competitions, training, getting used to how the controls work, all that kind of thing. It's a very good bit of software, and it's well respected and widely used by real glider pilots. On this flight, we're not carrying water ballast. Bert in the back will be flying us. So that although it was a flight that I actually did, in the replay, of course, we'll pretend he was actually the pilot, so I can just be a passenger and look around and commentate on things. In this clip, we've survived a really low scrape on the final interwind leg to get back to a base, and the problem happened really because I got so intoxicated with using powerful ridges and mountain slopes to get round the task that when I turned the last turning point and went into wind, I struggled to work out which slopes I might get onto to, like the rungs of a ladder, to make my way into wind without getting caught in the lee of the next upwind one. And I failed to pay attention to the opportunities presented by cumulus clouds showing that there were thermals about I could have used. I'd set the thermals to average strength on this task. I hadn't used one all the way around the task until this point. And basically, I ignored them when, with hindsight, I'd have done better to actually make use of them earlier on that leg. But we survived it. In the end, I nearly came a cropper in the last clip, if you watched it, on a hillside, and just went out into the valley to either land in the middle of nowhere, or crash in the middle of nowhere probably, and that'd be me gone, or else the cumulus cloud would offer a thermal that would save me, and it did. So this last clip really is just to show the beauty of a final glide back out of the Andes to the finishing point at the airfield. And just like I might have in real life, if I appear to be sucking on a sweet, it's because I am. Because when you get to a really good point on the task, and you know that all you got to do now is to do a good steady glide, perhaps a bit more than that on this. We're not really quite on final glide. Well, in theory, the PDA is saying that we will arrive at our destination at 1,280 feet. You've got to be careful with that when you're in landscape like this, because it's the lift prospects and the sink prospects are very uneven. So that would be fine if we were over just flatlands and there were no surprises. So I'll be watching that very carefully. I'm not going to just relax too much on that. But I can see we're flying at a speed of nearly 110 knots, so we're cracking on for some reason here. So I think I'm probably taking the view that, right, I will stay on final glide and at this kind of speed, or whatever speed, and watch how that DDH figure changes. Yeah, so with that, let's press the play button and get started. Right, here we go. So after that experience, abundant lift, set up for a fast final glide. So we're watching the destination height, flying at 100 knots, and that DDH figure is holding fairly steady at the moment, so that's all quite good. But I'm aware at the moment I'm heading to the backside of a mountain, hill, whatever it is, like the Twin Peaks one up ahead. So if I was to stay right on this course and go up behind it, I'd have to expect some sink in the lee of it, since we're flying right into the westerly wind that's blowing over it. If I could skirt around just slightly to the left of it, a nice looking cumulus there as well, slightly to the left of it, which I might pull up underneath just to actually if I needed. But at the moment that DDH figure is holding quite steady, so if I can carry on this kind of speed and get where I need to go, that's fine. See what speed we can manage around the task. Bearing in mind, I wasn't trying to do a breakneck speed in this task. My first priority was just to stay up, not end up landing out, crashing out, killing yourself, whatever, in this landscape. And the next thing was to be curious and explore and have fun and just sample the various things on offer in terms of lift in this landscape. I love the way I talk about this. I mean, you can tell this virtual reality thing in Condor really does immerse my imagination. I really am here. Taken overall, it's not a bad substitute for the real thing when you consider that I wouldn't have the qualifications, the youthfulness, fitness, money, whatever, to actually ever go and do a thing like this for real in the Andes, but I can do it here. So I'll happily settle for the shortcomings such as they are. So I think as we look at that sort of Twin Peaks hill we're getting closer to, beyond it and very slightly to the right of it is another, what from here looks like a bigger kind of mountain. I think the airfield is on the flatlands to the right of that mountain, near the shore to the water. You can see beyond it, I don't know, the water is the sea or a very large lake. I must look up the real map for this area, a map of South America, and try and see exactly where we are, because the maps in Condor are not really aimed at showing you all that in great detail. And perhaps note to myself as I get ready to take this replay with commentary and edit it and change them all into the final things that will go on YouTube. Might be an idea if I could, either at the beginning or at the end of the series of clips, just put on screen a map of this part of South America and where this real landscape is. And then I might know what that water is, whether it's a land-bound lake or whether it's anything to do with the sea. So, yeah, and if the airfield is out in that plain beyond these hills, that mountain, if you look up the line of the water and beyond it, beyond the sort of the brownie looking pasture land and then on the hills beyond that, that I think is the bit that we climbed on to get our height before we started on this task. And then on our first leg we headed out sort of that way. So the DDH, the destination height figures are improving really. According to this, I'm going to make it with plenty of height. And actually, I'm trying to work out whether I've got the location of the airfield right. Well, let's wait and see. I'll double guess it for now. Just enjoy chewing on my Haribo. Well, here I am, just for the sheer fun of it, pulling up like a loony underneath that cloud and getting nothing for it whatsoever, but hey, got to have a bit of fun. A little bit sinky here, putting on speed because I don't like the sinkiness. Probably because I'm slightly in the lee, or I'm in the lee of this slight ridge, as it were. Having said that, I'm obviously thinking that I will then have some interwindish bits that I can use to go towards the airfield. No, I think the airfield, is to the left of that big lump by the sea. It's, as you can see from the little red dot, it's pretty much dead ahead. So I was looking at the wrong bit over there. sort of set myself a rule that I shouldn't arrive over the finishing point below 500 feet. I don't always follow that rule. I can't remember doing this one, but I'd have been wise to on this one because there's quite a lot of uncertainty with that. I mean, in this landscape, it might necessarily be a good idea to undershoot and end up landing a few fields short of the airfield. What I might be considering though is just a straight-in approach. Oh no, I can't do it because I've got to go across the finishing point. Probably can't see them on the screen you're watching on, but pretty much where that string is on the windscreen, I'm not sure if you see, I can see occasionally twinkling lights, the twinkling lights of the runway of the airfield. Lingering look round at this lovely landscape that we're leaving behind as we come back to finish our task. We start to see pastures and things down there, presumably offer opportunities for landing. And this sort of striated, striped looking light brown field that I'm looking at now. I wonder what kind of land that is in real life. Is that cropland or something? Is that the line of the crops? Possibly. Would it be landable? Probably not advisable to land across those stripes, which would be the interwind direction. These fields are quite small. Don't know how friendly the landowners will be. Especially as you start flying faster, and you can do about this, but you notice the way the nose of the plane sort of wanders around a bit in perhaps more than in pitch, but in both directions. And I think this is just some kind of imprecision in the way the software modelling behaves when the plane's going fast. It goes down to good speed. I'm trying to get down as near to 500 as possible, 500 feet. Speed on. Swoop back up into the skies and do probably a left-hand circuit. I'll be calling out the airfield, calling in my distances again now, probably about 3k out, saying that I'm coming in from the eastern direction. My ETA is about 1 minute, just look at the clock, and the ETA about 1 minute out. crisscrossed red slice of pizza. As soon as that turns green, I know I've finished. I would imagine the clubhouse is the actual, that little barn building there is probably the actual finishing point. Yeah, so I'll be telling him I'm overhead now, finishing the task. Show the finish on the display. I think I've had this happen before in Condor. It's not turned green on the replay, but it would have been real flight. Now I'm telling him I'm doing a left-hand circuit. Gear is down and locked. If anyone used Wolf, water undercarriage, these articles, flaps. I used to use U-stall, I think, when I learned. It was undercarriage, speed, trim for it, hand on air brakes and lookout. That all changed. Looking into the turns, looking in the view, doing this kind of threepenny bit thing where I do a 45-degree turn between downwind and base leg, onto base leg. I'm flying more of a gentle curve, adjusting things as I go actually, and I think a lot of pilots do actually do this. Moving on to finals. Got a crosswind, of course. Well, a bit, much I suppose, a bit. Sometimes I like to stop right by sort of a tug and things and go, hello mate, at the launch point. And sometimes I imagine I'm putting my glider away and the trailer is down by the clubhouse where the other powered airplane is parked. It looks like that's what I'm doing this time. Landing park up there, and that I can assure you that it was a magnificent flight. We'll put off the centre line here. What's that about? Careless. Turning in. Oh yes. Yeah. Gonna park up here. Perhaps a little close to that Cessna for safety, but hey, someone will be out to a word with me. And that ends this flight in the Andes. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it a lot of the time, and I can't recommend enough if you're into this kind of thing, getting out there and doing some of this. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's the end of this flight in the Andes. Like and subscribe to be kept posted. The next one I'm going to do, I'm not going to keep doing these flights forever, but there is one more I certainly would like to put out. And it's a hell of a flight, and it's set in North Wales. It's a flight it's in the UK, and it's a flight of 426k. In a northwesterly wind with no thermals of any value, no wave, only ridges, and not really mountains, or they're barely mountains, because in the UK we don't have anything that grand, to actually get you around the task. And it is quite a challenge. It sort of makes me reflect on why the UK might produce often very good pilots in competitions things, because in the UK you don't get the stonking thermals that go to cloud bases of 14,000 feet, and you don't get the huge mountain peaks and the huge mountain lift. You really have to learn to work with some very modest stuff when you want to get around a task. And this task was set up by a guy called Chris Gill, who's the CFI and manager at Denby Gliding in North Wales, and who's really been putting it on the map with his groundbreaking flights, discovering just what you can do around Wales in a glider, and attempting to set various records. He's a very good pilot. I had the great good fortune to fly with him on 3 days of the 2018 two-seater competition. I flew in the back seat, and got to see what a good pilot he was. And the last day, it was a fantastic week. We flew all 9 days in weather that someone once described when they were there as being more like Australia than the United Kingdom. It was a really hot spell, and we had really good weather, and cloud bases on some days I think were up to about 7,000 feet or something like that. So it's pretty good. And he set this task in North Wales when COVID came along and real flying had to stop because of COVID. And all these real glider pilots just needed something to do to actually, feel like they were still flying gliders. So he set up these online competitions Just a couple of them, I think, in the end. And one of them was this task. And I think even the good pilots, almost without exception, I think, and there might be one or two managed it, but a lot of them flew into the sea and ditched in the sea, couldn't get around it. So I was quite amazed to get around it when I flew it. And I flew this task back in 2020, and I didn't save a replay because I don't really watch replays for my own sake. I mean, it's done, and it stays in your memory just like a real flight does, and that's as good as anything. Then when I started doing these video clips, I wished I had kept a replay, and the only way to do something about it was to fly the task again. And then I thought, well, I can in Condor you can pull up the record which I had kept. You've a task file that you can create at the end of a flight. You can pull that up, and that glider can fly as what they call a ghost with you, so you can see this glider when you're flying the task. So to cut a long story short, I reflew this task following myself round the task. And it was a really interesting experience, and hopefully it'll make some interesting commentary on the video clips. Until at some point I decided to go a different way from my ghost, and ended up doing considerably better than them without even knowing quite what they did off in the mountains, because it was 2 years ago and I can't remember what I did. And it was really a really hairy flight. So anyway, if you like and subscribe, when I get that done and put it out, you'll be able to follow it. And it'll probably be quite a few clips because it's a long flight with lots of interesting bits in it. The landscapes aren't as dramatic as things like the Alps and the Andes or Argentina and things, but the flying challenge and some of the things you have to do in it are very interesting, especially if you have any insights into glider flying. So anyway, I've gone on for far too long. I think that's it for now. As I say, like and subscribe if you want to be kept posted, and look after yourselves, and bye for now.
I got a feeling so strong. Maybe someday our skies will cross.